my channel, I know that I'm always in and out, whatever. Forget that. But I wanted to get ready with you guys today, or show you how I get ready, and kind of talk about what my life is like in the Air Force right now, just because this whole like pandemic situation has been a little weird for all of us. And if I was in the military and I had friends in there, I sure as hell would want to know what I was doing in a time like this. Also, I think it's very beneficial for people to, like, I think more so for kids that are still in school, to kind of see what it's like if they are considering going in the military. I did have a couple people ask me, or just throughout the years, I actually have a lot of people that ask me, do I recommend the Air Force or do I not? And I give my honest opinion, because I do. But I always wanted somebody to answer all these questions that I had before I joined, but I didn't know anybody, so I was like messaging random people. But anyways, it's just a weird time for everybody, and I remember seeing this post the other day where it's like people that are like picking their degrees or majors or looking at what they should do when they grow up. Look at all these jobs that are essential. Like, these are the jobs that are going to be there when other jobs aren't. And if you want stability and you want like to be sure that you're always going to get a paycheck, or at least be somewhat more sure than any other jobs, then the Air Force, or just military in general, is something to consider. Now, I'm not saying that this video is just to promote joining the Air Force, but it's for anybody that's curious. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, as a, not only as a pharmacy technician, but also like in the Air Force. Like, have things changed since like the whole pandemic situation? So yeah, I'm probably gonna be rambling all over the place because I actually filmed it earlier this morning and I forgot to do my intro, which is why I'm back. So forgive me if that's the case. But I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, if you guys have any more questions, just ask. Okay, so don't mind the clip in my hair. I'm trying to train my hair to go that way, and it keeps going this way. Like, if you can tell, these freaking little baby hairs. Let's get ready. Lately, I've been really using basically just like what I have at home. I haven't really been into buying a whole bunch of makeup, so I'm just gonna stick to kind of what I have. It's nothing nothing crazy, but I am gonna be working out. So what I actually have been doing this week is testing out makeup. Because my work schedule is a little different at work now, I'm just going through my old foundations, or older foundations, and kind of going through them and seeing how I like it versus how I used to like it. So I don't really wear a primer anymore unless it's like a special occasion, but quite frankly, I think I don't even need it. I just make sure I moisturize, and then my moisturizer just kind of works as that foundation, or that base for my foundation, and it's been working amazing. So it's been doing just fine, but what I did try the other day was my Peach Perfect by Too Faced, which is also supposed to be like a matte all day stay whatever foundation. I also tested this Juice Beauty. Oh, it's a serum foundation. Okay, that's why. It's watery, that's what I mean. It's really runny, but it did really good at work with like wearing a mask and rubbing on my nose. I expected to see like a white patch on my nose, but you know what, I'm just rambling. Let's just get with it. Let's just do the Fit Me Matte Poreless. So we're just gonna test this one out. I'm using the shade 310. I'll be honest, I don't even know if that's still my shade, but you know, with makeup you can always work around it. I am drinking my green smoothie. I make it every single day. It has spinach, strawberries, pineapple, flaxseed, stevia just to sweeten it up, and almond milk every single day. I have to make sure that I drink it. It just helps with digestion, and it gets my greens in for the day. And I've also been really into like this middle part. Oof, I used to hate it, but we'll see how it works out. So I already applied my toner and my moisturizer, and then just because it's been a minute, I'm going to apply a little bit of the Prep and Prime, just because I want my skin to be a little more tacky. Ugh. Oh, okay. That is a mess. I'm running super low, and so that didn't spray as well or as evenly as I expected it. Let's let that dry just a little bit. And you do have to let it dry because I have done the complete opposite where I don't let it dry and I'm like, oh, okay, it's still a little wet. Let me go ahead and start putting my foundation on. No, the foundation gets super runny and like watery and depending on what kind it is, and then it just messed with the coverage and it was just not pretty. So make sure that you let it dry. You're still gonna kind of feel a little, not sticky, but a little more moisturized. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it on my hand because I love using the top of my hand. And sometimes I like to dot the foundation, but the other day I tried this other thing where I just dipped the brush kind of into it very lightly and it worked out. And so I'm going in with the Morphe M439 brush. And so you're just picking a little bit of it up. And then just blending it in. I always start at the chin. So, this tutorial, well, get ready with me really, is supposed to kind of be more about what it's like being in the Air Force during a pandemic. Do I notice a change? Absolutely. So for those of you that aren't too familiar with me, I am in the Air Force. I have been for almost 7 years. I will hit 7 years here in about a month and a half. But I'm a pharmacy technician and I count drugs. Basically, in a nutshell. So with pharmacy, the way that we kind of look at it being in pharmacy is we're kind of like the stepchildren of the hospital or the clinic. I wouldn't say hospital. I've never worked in an actual hospital. I've only worked in clinics. And so we are the ones that never get to go home really because, you know, we always have to be open because not only do we serve like active duty members, but we serve retirees, and dependents and stuff, more so the retirees. And so we always have to stay open in order to provide them enough time to pick up for all their stuff. And let me just interrupt, this foundation is just a little light, but we'll like bronze up a little bit. But anyways, we never really get to do all the extra stuff that other sections within a clinic get to do. Kind of like the people that work the admin side of the job. They have a little bit more freedom with it, just because their job allows it. I've learned to accept it. So I'm not as bitter anymore as I used to be. Just because I'm like, okay, you know, it's just the nature of our job. But when this coronavirus thing became a thing, we were like, okay, first of all, I'd never heard of coronavirus. I was like, what the hell is that? I started hearing it in December. I think it was in January was probably the very first time I heard of it, or late December. And I was like, ah, whatever, I don't know what it is. Well, then I started seeing it on the news in China, and I was like, oh shit, that sucks. And then they started going over it at work. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we might do something. Is it going to be like Ebola? Because I remember when Ebola came through, I think I was working in Georgia and, you know, nothing really happened. So honestly, I kind of brushed it off and I was like, okay, like this is going to fade away in a couple weeks or a couple months, just like Ebola did. And by a couple months, I probably meant like 1 month or 2. And so here we are, freaking, when did I really hear about it? Like February? We're almost like 2 and some change months away, and it's actually a huge deal. So now I'm just going to go in with my sponge and make sure I blended everything good. And so at work, at first we just started using gloves and masks, but I wasn't really a fan of the masks. I guess the way I like to think about it, and I like to think that I have a good immune system, the way I thought about it is like, okay, if my immune system's good and I start using a mask, my immune system's gonna get weak, and then one day I'm not gonna wear a mask, and then I'm gonna get friggin' corona. So I was like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not gonna wear a glove because glove, like my fingers are sweating in it, and it was just ridiculous. So I didn't use any of that. I'm gonna use a rust just to kind of conceal so I don't have to wear anything else. Because I'm not going anywhere. This is just to roam around the house. And so we started, you know, I didn't do anything. I ended up getting sick, but it wasn't like anything coronavirus. I actually had rhinitis virus, whatever that is. But like right before I got sick, I think this was like late March, early April. It didn't really hit me until, you know, we had planned a trip to go to California. I was supposed to freaking go to Bermuda, and we had all these stuff planned out. And then one freaking Saturday morning, literally 2 days after we purchased our plane tickets to California, boom, DOD halts all movements. And I was like, what the fuck? So I was on the phone with freaking Delta for like 2 hours and 40 minutes trying to get a freaking refund. Yeah, that didn't happen. I got a freaking credit. It wasn't until then that I was like, oh shit. And I told Freddie and his friends, I was like, this is serious. Like, I've never freaking seen this. I didn't even think it was possible. I didn't know they could do that. So after that, in the pharmacy, we were kind of like, okay, well, what the hell? Like, what about us? Everybody at work started social distancing, which means they were breaking their work centers into shifts. So some people would work certain days, other people would work the opposite days, just to kind of minimize the traffic within the work center. And then everyone was was teleworking, so they were working from home. And I said, there's no freaking way we can work from home. So we came up with a plan in the pharmacy. We would only let certain patients come in at certain times because our lobbies, like even after like the first initial corona outbreak here, people were still freaking coming in. At one point, I remember one day when they were like, yeah, only 10 people in the lobby, but nobody was helping us enforce this rule in the pharmacy, because I work at a refill pharmacy, so it's a busy, it's what we call a satellite. So I think we had like 70 something people in our queue and like 60 or 50 people in our freaking lobby. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, this is not social distancing. And you know, people are like, oh, can't you do exceptions? Yeah, you know, we're trying to do exceptions, but there's only like 9 of us and like 60 of you guys. So there's only so much we can do. So for anybody that's out there that's pharmacy, I got love for you guys, because I know exactly what it's like, and I hope that you guys have love for me and you know exactly what it's like, and not just pharmacy, but really any medical worker at this point. But anyways, we started doing that, and it ended up working out. People kind of slowly started trickling, or the volume started trickling down, and we didn't have enough people. But then they basically came out and were like, hey, you guys got to do a drive-through pharmacy. I'd already seen that a whole bunch of pharmacies in the Air Force were doing it, but we were like, okay, well, what we're doing is kind of working. But no, we moved to a drive-thru pharmacy. Now I'm just gonna go in with the Anastasia Dip Brow Powder Duo, and this is in the shade Ebony. I like it because it's supposed to be black, but it's not black. It's like a super deep shade of brown, and I love it. Oh, okay. So where were we? We're in the drive-thru pharmacy. So we closed down one of our pharmacies, which was the one in the clinic, because I work at the one at our BX. And for any Army people out there, no, I'm not saying BX wrong. In the Air Force, BX is base exchange, Army post exchange, PX. The other day someone's like, I thought you've been saying it wrong the whole time. I'm like, no, it's just the Air Force way of saying it. I work at the BX pharmacy. And so basically what our process was, we got a whole bunch of support from the base, which, hey, that was awesome, because we couldn't do it alone. But we closed down our clinic pharmacy, and we kept just the BX pharmacy open, because obviously it's the busiest one. And a lot of our doctors in clinic were moving to over-the-phone appointments. That way they avoided seeing patients like in person, especially if it was like a minor thing. And so now we are like, I want to say anywhere between like 15 to 18 technicians working out of one pharmacy. So we tried it out for 1 week. It ended up working good. And what we ended up doing so that we could participate in the social distancing is doing shifts. So everybody works on Mondays. That means like all hands on deck on Monday. And we have a full house. So on this day, we get to catch up on things that we have to do, like expiration checks, just things that we don't get a chance to do in a normal, on a daily basis. And then So Eagle team, because I'm Team Eagle, we work Mondays, which is, you know, everybody, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're off Wednesdays and Fridays. And then our opposite team, which is Team Falcon, they get to work on Mondays, again, like everybody, and then they work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's kind of cool. You know, everybody, whenever we're working the drive-thru, everyone's like, how is it? Like, oh, it must suck. But honestly, I know this sounds, I mean, it doesn't sound bad at all, but it just, this is one of the best things in a way that has kind of happened to pharmacy. And I also feel like it's because we don't really get highlighted much. Like on a normal daily basis, like on just like a regular like work day or something, we're just known as like, oh god, they're always busy. I would hate to be pharmacy. Oh god, there they are, they're still working late. Or oh yeah, pharmacy is down this many people, but guess what, operations are still going. Like, no, I guess I don't want to say that we're not thanked or appreciated, but we're just less appreciated. And so this whole pandemic not only gave us a break, like it's giving us the opportunity, I mean, yes, to social distance, but also to take part in what everybody else is doing within the clinic. Again, because I go back to, we usually are left out of a lot of things. And it's nobody's fault. It's just, again, the nature of the job. And then you get, I guess the pros of this is we get to work with all of our friends that we usually don't get to work with because, you know, we're split into pharmacies. We get a break during the week and we're highlighted. So a lot of focus has been on obviously the medical aspect of the military or just of the world at the moment because of what's happening. And so it's been really cool to kind of have like the pharmacy highlighted a lot. And not only pharmacy members, but everybody that's helping us. I mean, because we specifically haven't been highlighted, it's been more so the people that are helping us do what we're doing, because obviously without them we would not be able to. But it's been kind of cool. So if you ask me, I do not mind the new shift. I do mind that everything's freaking closed, because what good is it that you're off if you can't freaking do anything? So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my eyebrows real quick and then I'll be right back. Eyebrows are on. It'll do. Really, the pros about being in the military right now, and not just like working in the healthcare industry, but just being in the military in general, is that we still get a paycheck. And I know that's kind of been the biggest issue in the world right now, and honestly for us that's been the biggest blessing. My husband and I were actually just, when this happened, we were talking about it. I was like, you know, this is such a blessing that we still get paid. Like, whether we work or not, we're still getting paid. And I know that, I think it was last year or the year before, when there was like a furlough, I remember that at one point the Coast Guard wasn't getting paid. I have a couple of friends who are Coast Guard on Facebook, and it's just sad to read about that. And I mean, not just the Coast Guard, but like any other job out there. I mean, my parents and my family have been personally affected by the issue. So I do feel really bad, but the way I see it is I'm just like, man, the decisions we made when we were, well, when I was super young, I was like 17 or, yeah, 17 when I came up with a decision, or when I decided to join. I'm just like, it's such a blessing now that, I guess like our sacrifices and all the stuff that we went through is kind of paying off, because we are still getting paid in a situation like this, and a situation like many in the past where we're still getting paid. So moving on to the next thing, I'm going to bronze a little bit. Just, the foundation is not too bad, but just I'm gonna bronze a little bit. Okay. I think I was going into the pros about being in the Air Force or in the military right now, and it's definitely the pay. The cons, we can't go anywhere. We cannot freaking go anywhere, and the military told us we can't, so we have to listen. Not even just the military, but like, I guess, I don't know, the president, the DOD, everybody. Anybody that's military right now is not supposed to go anywhere. We can still take leave, but we have to stay within the local area. And luckily we live in a location that... Oh my god, I scared the fuck out of me. Luckily we live in a location that has a lot of outdoor stuff to do, but we could not go snowboarding anymore. So that kind of sucked. A lot of the snowboarding resorts... Oh, I'm sweating. So yeah, a lot of the snowboarding resorts closed early this last season. So that kind of sucks because we weren't allowed to finish off the season. And then Freddie is due to deploy, and so he probably won't be here for much of next year's season. So he's kind of bummed out. I mean, I'm bummed out because this was our first season snowboarding ever, and we learned together. It just sucks that they don't let us go anywhere, but I know it's for a good reason, and I can't be mad. The good thing is family is allowed to come visit. The bad thing is our family probably doesn't want to come visit right now. So we're just going to apply a little bit of blush. I'm telling you, my makeup skills, not even my makeup skills, because I don't really practice, so I can't really say that about myself, but I'm just not too into makeup lately. I'm into kind of like the basics, and I'll be honest, it's because of my lash extensions. I think I've said that in the past. I just don't feel like freaking cleaning them off. And then if I do eyeshadow, I gotta make sure that I clean them really good so that they don't get clumpy or just nasty. And I don't like doing that because when I clean them, sometimes some lashes fall off. And look, I get my lashes done every 2 weeks. Which honestly, like, yeah, I can afford to lose some, but I don't want to. I want them to be full at all times. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Let's not do that. Because I like the way it looks. I'm using the telescopic mascara. I just got it when I had real lashes. I used to love it. But this is waterproof because I'm going to work out. And I don't want them to melt and then transfer to my extensions. Let's brush these babies down. I'm also going to apply one of my favorite lipsticks. Let's get most of that Vaseline off. This is a Morphe matte lipstick, True Story. I love this color. What the what? Okay, applied my lipstick, and then I kind of like that blurred edge on the outside, so I just grab a Q-tip and I just kind of smear it or smudge it. And then the last thing is brush my lashes. There you go. Awesome. Did we train these hairs to stay on this side? Kind of. My hair obviously needs Jesus right now. So that's all I have for you guys. I mean, this is all I'm wearing because I am in active gear, active wear, active clothes. I'm in gym clothes all freaking day long. I just have to go to the store and do some things, and then stay tuned for our home gym tour. Thanks for watching.